Hello and welcome, this is Oldmanpoole. Singleton's come to Magic Arena, so I'm going to be running through one of those leagues today. Let's show off the deck before we jump into the actual league, though. So, for those of you who have never heard of Singleton before, it's a constructed format, but you're only allowed to play one of every copy of a card that you play, which is cool. I'm generally kind of a limited aficionado. For those of you that are regular visitors to the channel, you'll know that. I do a lot of draft, fair amount of sealed, but not lots in the way of constructed. And one of the main reasons for that is I really like the variety that comes with limited. And Singleton is kind of the closest that constructed will get to that same sense of novelty. Because you're playing 60 cards that are different, the only cards you're allowed to have that are the same are basic lands. You tend to have a lot of very high variety in the games that you play, and that means that it's hard for your opponent to have a really super streamlined deck. A lot of constructed decks, when you're playing regularly, often have I don't know, 5 or 6 cards that are a 4 of, they kind of build the deck around that, and then some other cards that are sort of supportive. But this, you really can't choose one card and be like, we're going to be the Ghalta deck, because you're only allowed to have one Ghalta, and you're just not going to draw it all that often. So I was trying to kind of bounce around ideas for what sort of deck I wanted to play for Singleton, and I decided it had been a really long time since I just played a good old-fashioned ramp deck, which is not always the most powerful and constructed. A lot of things can go wrong. You can draw too many ramp cards, you can draw too few, there's some problems with tempo. When it works out, though, you do look pretty fantastic, and I really do enjoy ramp decks. It's some of the first decks I ever made when I was playing Magic, and it's a special place in my heart. So that's what we're doing today, blue-green ramp, primarily green as you guys can see, but we have some pretty solid blue cards. Weaver of Currents is one of the better ramp cards in the format, Bounty of the Lux is pretty cool, we have Rashmi, Tatyova, Nissa, in Bolus's Clutches, which has been surprisingly impressive to me. It's stolen a lot of Scarab Gods from opponents, but yeah, mostly a green-based Llanowar Elves, Chandler's Initiates, pretty much any of the relatively cheap mana accelerants in the format we're playing, and working our way up to more and more powerful stuff. So, I don't think this deck is going to be tier 1 or anything, but hopefully it's fun, hopefully it's competitive, show you guys some good matches. Before we jump in, I do want to say thank you to everyone that's been so supportive of the channel lately. I feel like I've gotten you guys have knocked out of the park, seriously. I've seen a lot of new people subscribe, a lot of new voices in the comments, and tons of likes. Thank you so much. It really does help other people find me on YouTube. It's the best thing you guys can do to support me, and you guys have just been fantastic. So, thanks so much. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, definitely do so. I put out new video content every Tuesday and Saturday. I'd love to have you guys here, love to have you guys in the comments. You guys are just the best. So thanks so much. Let's jump right into the matches here. And yeah, show off this sweet ramp deck. Hopefully we don't get wrecked too badly. Now, a lot of the time for the drafts, I've been kind of picking and choosing my favorite matches to show off because they are best of 3, and if you play a full 5 or 6 best of 3s, it can get really long. But these Singleton matches are still just best of 1s. There's no sideboard, so we can probably just go ahead and show the whole series, and the video won't end up being too long. Okay, this hand is fine. It's kind of slow, which is not an uncommon thing for me to say with this deck. It's either quite good because we have a mana accelerant, or kind of slow because we don't. I think I'm going to keep, we have Nissa on turn 3, can go up to 3 loyalty. If my opponent doesn't have a particularly fast start, then Nissa is going to be pretty good. And even if we do have a particularly fast start, or even if they do, we could still scry up some lands, make sure we hit Oasis Ritualist. This might be a fairly fast Sandwurm Convergence, which there's a lot of decks in the format that just cannot beat or resolve Convergence, which is sweet. I love this card. It was one of my favorite cards back in Amonkhet. Let's go ahead and keep. That was a long-winded way of saying we are going to keep, I think. Yeah, my opponent has mulligan down to 6, perhaps being wiser than we are. Alright, and let's drop our Woodland Stream and give it back to our opponent. If we don't draw a land, we won't cycle the Desert of the Mindful. If we do, we might, and still hope to find something a little bit more. On the other hand, if we're doing that next turn, we're probably not ramping to Ritualist much faster. And we'd probably like to play Nissa. Okay, fun dropping that mountain. There are aggressive decks in the format. Okay, Drover the Mighty was a great draw here. Okay, let's go ahead and play that. I wouldn't be surprised if this just gets shot. It does not. And red doesn't necessarily mean my opponent has to be aggressive, but oftentimes it does. Oh, no, treasure map. Okay. Looking to be a little bit dirtlier. I think in general we have a good matchup in dirtily matchups, I guess. Let's go ahead and play our Desert of the Mindful. Not going to cycle it. And let's play Nissa for 1, and then kick her up with the Scry. That should mean we'll find land on time here. We could play... Oh, wow, that was unhappier than I expected from Nissa. Let's go ahead and Scry.
Perhaps I should try this.
And Virtuous, I actually don't think we really want right now, but hitting a land sounds pretty okay to me. Let's go ahead and keep that. We'll play, I guess probably Tendershoot Druid next turn, and play one of those, hey, you gotta have an answer here for my opponent. And this is another threat that my opponent does just have to answer for too long. It did not have a play. Let's go ahead and Scry first, I guess? No, I guess let's make sure we use our Drover. So we played the Tendershoot Dryad. Seems okay. It might just get burned here, which is downside. Maybe we should play Tatyova instead. Or just the Ritualist. See, if we play Ritualist and we find a land, I guess we can Sandwurm Convergence next turn, assuming the Drover doesn't get killed. Alright, let's Scry first, maybe then. And hope my opponent just doesn't want to shoot this in response. They could have killed it earlier, certainly. And I guess if they do, we can still play the Ritualist, which isn't the worst. Ooh. So we can top that. Karn's pretty good, too. And actually, we can put this into play with Nissa, right? That's how this works. Nope, land or a creature card, so actually Nissa can't play Karn. I might actually bottom Karn then. So I think actually I'm going to play the Ritualist. I think this plays around some combat shenanigans my opponent could have, and getting a Sandwurm Convergence into play next turn. There's a lot of decks that just cannot deal with that. Let's just go ahead and pass here. Is there anything that I care about with attacking? I'm not going to risk it. The 1 point of damage matters so little relative to getting the Convergence into play on time. I don't think this color combination is real likely to have something that flashes in and really wrecks us. I guess there's that one pirate who's in black, I'm pretty sure. This is looking like a pretty good draw, though. We've hit a couple of our good ramp cards. Again, Sandwurm Convergence. My opponent can't counter it. These colors can't usually real effectively deal with enchantments. And even if they kill one of these here, we're still going to get to drop it sooner or later. Okay, Chandra. Probably killing off the Ritualist if I had to guess. Well, no, I guess not. I was going to say, I guess they would be giving it up for the Drover then. Okay. Just take 2 damage, exile the Forerunner of the Coalitions. Looks like they might have some sort of like sweet pirate deck going on. Okay. We are just going to go ahead and enjoy Sandwurm Convergence. So let's exert our Ritualist, double green, and hope this is probably just enough. It often will be. I guess let's just keep scrying.
The answers are within my reach.
Don't actually want really either of those cards. Okay. More mana dorks aren't really necessarily what we want. Okay, and that is enough for our opponent. Yeah. We actually hadn't done any damage, but yeah, there are just a lot of decks I think that Sandwurm Convergence is just kind of unanswerable for. So cool. Happy to pick up match 1. See you guys for match 2 in just a sec. Ooh. Okay, getting close to our quest for the day. And got that sweet first win. I guess let's just jump into the next one. So that was a pretty good draw, and my opponent also was pretty slow. That was a turn 5 Sandwurm Convergence, is that right? Turn 3 we played Nissa. Turn 4 we played... Yeah, I think turn 5. Playing against Penguin Palooza. Gotta say I love the name. This hand is good, a little bit land light, but I love having Llanowar Elves. Let's go ahead and keep. I think if we find some lands along the way, it could be pretty good. Playing a Jadelight Ranger on turn 2 is always very welcome. And it looks like we are going to have that potential, unless the Llanowar Elves gets killed before then. It's possible it would run into a counter spell, which is not great for us, but not terrible either. That Hush Up Oasis makes kind of an interesting groaning noise. Ooh, okay, Merfolk. I actually kind of thought about playing Merfolk. I was worried there wouldn't be quite enough playables, but I think it was close to. I don't think this deck is bad or anything. Okay, let's go ahead and play Jade Light Ranger. Have 2 tap lands in hand, which is a little bit unfortunate. Ooh. Can't play it next turn. And I guess the turn after we're going to hope to play Ear Hulk. I think we're actually going to graveyard this thing. We're just going to be looking for lands. Okay. I don't think that's too bad. So next turn we'll probably play a tap land plus the Lifecrafter's Bestiary. I'm going to play fairly defensively against this deck. I think there's a lot of cards that... Ooh, Metallic Mimic's pretty good. Okay. I think there are a lot of Merfolk cards that have the potential just to get us pretty good. Do we just want to trade here? Next turn we won't be able to block. Metallic Mimic will just swing for 2, though. I think we are just going to trade away. And just trust that these cards are big enough, scary enough when we get there. Ooh, Drover the Mighty is not bad. Probably play that over the Bestiary. I think we need to be speedy rather than anything else. And that means we can play the Gear Hulk next turn. Okay. So let's play our Drover. I think it's very possible my opponent wants to trade here. And I guess we're up to... We have enough mana to play the Gear Hulk anyway with the Drover. So I guess let's go ahead and attack. No real loss in not doing so. I don't think it's likely my opponent will trade. Yeah. Okay. And I guess let's play Memorial to Genius, since we may still want to crack the Desert of the Mindful someday. And then next turn we'll have Birdius, Gear Hulk, and then the turn after that we can have the Sphinx. And then we're kind of out of gas. We didn't find a real good opportunity to play the Lifecrafter's Bestiary, but Deep Throat or Deep Root Champion. Another land. So my opponent could have like bounce spells here. We can't. Oh, I guess we could just play the Sphinx. I guess if we get the Sphinx in the air, but I guess we'd rather have the Gear Hulk bounce than the Sphinx, right? I'm not really sure what's my opponent's most likely to have. I guess making the Sphinx really big is good, but I think I actually might want to spread the love. So I guess in that case we can play the Desert of the Mindful, right? They could have counter magic. What if they have Syncopate? Syncopate would be pretty bad. We could still play the Sphinx next turn even without that. Alright. Yeah, I'm going to play around Syncopate, I guess. And we're going to put counters on the Llanowar Elves. Okay. Alright, so that was a lot of thinking. But I think it's going to work out okay. I'm tempted to just kind of go aggressive given how powerful the start we've had. But on the other hand, we could just play it slow. Make sure we like gum up the board. I'm worried my opponent's going to have some unblockable threats. And this deck does not run a whole lot of removal. Probably actually one of the weakest parts of it. The blue-green is just not known for its removal. Okay, so they did have a bounce spell. Fair enough. Okay. That's so weird that, like, the noise for bounce is like that weird grinding noise. Okay, we'll be able to turn the Llanowar Elves into another card, though, later down the line with Lifecrafter's Bestiary, so that's not terrible for us. Merfolk Trickster, tapping down the Gear Hulk. We do take a reasonable amount of damage here. We get to play our Sphinx, and then have 2 big blockers. We take 5. Oh, actually even a little bit more. Probably going to drop that on the champion. Fair enough. 6 damage. Get down to 14. My opponent's starting to run out of stuff in hand. And actually, I think that the Tender Sheet Dryad was a great draw. It's just going to provide a lot of chump blockers my opponent's got to work their way through. Do we want to play the Elves? Probably. Elves is nice because then we will have the City's Blessing for our blocker next turn. Again, not quite getting value out of the Lifecrafter's Bestiary, but I think this is more likely to be a tempo matchup than a value matchup. And yeah, we're going to fairly aggressively block. Okay. Let's go ahead and double block. I think it's likely my opponent's got a trick. They bounced the Gear Hulk, that's really not that bad for us. But if they just have like a What's that card called? River Herald's Boon, is that right? The +2/+1/+1 counters. This isn't so bad for us. I guess they could just have a couple of different tricks. Okay. So that means it brings that up to a 7/7. Right? Yeah, 7/7. Okay. Works out okay, though, for us. And that's all they could do that turn, so... Okay. Let's go ahead and play this tapped. Oh, we haven't drawn yet. That's why. Okay. Play this tapped. Play our Sphinx of Bigness. And then we're not too bad of a spot, I think, going forward. Alright, Sphinx of Bigness. We want to attack. We're going to have 2 blockers next turn. Again, I think I do want to put a little bit of pressure. Okay, that's enough for my opponent. I think the Merfolk deck is very likely to be playing the couple of unblockable threats they could have, and so I'm not sure we could sit on our hands the whole game, but we're able to pick up the victory there. Cool, 2-0. Happy to be that way. Definitely happier than that than 0-2, right? Alrighty. I guess let's just jump right into the next one. I've been happy with the way the deck's performing so far, though. I can't remember if I said it or not, I have played 1 league before this one with the deck. I made a couple of small changes, added in Karn. Actually, was originally only running 22 lands, because like, oh, I got lots of ramp, but I think that was a mistake. The deck actually has a fair amount of filtering, and we really want to hit land drops, so I upped that to 24. A couple other, like, small changes. But overall, I've been pretty happy with it. I think I went 5-3 the first time around, which isn't exceptional, but it's not bad either. Okay, opponent has mulligan down to 6. Have a pretty good hand here. We can go Branch Walker into Champion of Wits. Galta, maybe not too far down the line. Yeah, let's go ahead and keep. We have been blessed with some very good land draws. Man, our opponent mulligan down to 5. That is a rough spot to be in. And I guess it's Naga versus Merfolk, but so far, like, mono aquatic start here. Play our Woodland Stream, and just go ahead and pass. I think the mana bases are the thing I like the least about Singleton. It's just... I don't know, your mana is almost always not very good if you're playing super crazy multicolor decks, and that's really what my heart wants to do in this sort of a thing. In Bolas's Clutches. Not bad. Kind of far away. But next turn, I mean, we're going to keep just playing up the curve, right? Galta will have 2, I guess 3, 7, 8, 9. So we can play Galta the turn after. I guess this is probably okay. Sure, let's keep it. If my opponent plays something that really makes me want to change my mind, we can always pitch it with Champion of Wits. Ooh, Cabal. Console of Allocation. So we cast a non-creature spell. Opponent loses. Okay. So let's go ahead and play our Champion of Wits. Probably going to intend to at least pitch the Desert of the Mindful, maybe more. One of these cards should just not even be cycling cards. I feel like I pitch them so very often. We want to pitch the Rivulet. Delta is on its way. Yeah, I think that's okay. I'm going to swing with the Branch Walker if my opponent trades a little bit bad for us, but not terrible either. Mostly because we want to play Galta on time. But we still got some other good, like, 4-drops along the way. And I didn't think it was real likely that my opponent would block. Spire of Industry. Pay 1 life, add 1 mana of any color. Ooh. Okay, I was not expecting Cartouche of Solidarity. Fair enough. Yeah, I guess I'm not going to block. Ripjaw Rapture is not bad against that next turn. So we play that. Right now, this costs how much? 7. This will drop it by another 4, so for 3. So we could afford to lose Champion of Wits if we draw a land. We're just going to stay on well... Yeah, I think maybe we'll just stay on defense. Although, on the other hand, if my opponent has any removal spell, we're not playing Galta anyway. So maybe we play Ripjaw and swing with the Branch Walker. That seems okay. Don't necessarily want to trade away the Champion of Wits just yet. And opponent has no play. Wow. Interesting. Wasn't what I was expecting there. Guess let's play Galta before we go into combat, because we want to make sure that we've got the stuff to go along with it. And I guess we'll swing with Ripjaw Raptor. I think it's real likely my opponent blocks. Possible Galta just gets like removed next turn, but we are hitting my opponent for a fair amount. Like, I think we might win this race too, even if they answer that and swing back. Looks like the mulligan to 5 might be hurting them pretty badly here though. Wow. And another pretty fast concession. Galta is very tough. I mean, it's one of the threats in our deck that's most dangerous if it's not answered immediately. It doesn't offer much value if it is answered, but you can't. It does. I mean, it's a 12-12 trample. It'll kill you. Okay. Friends. Well, sweet. Really, really rapid 3-0. Can't complain. Let's keep going. We haven't run into any, like, really bad draws on our side yet, which the ramp deck often looks quite good if you're drawing great. I feel like it's kind of high variance in that when the draws are good, the draws are really, really good. And when the draws are bad, the draws are really pretty bad. So, realistically, I think we've just been kind of lucky so far. Alright. Vinny, 1981. Very good, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that the tap lands just need to go. In fact, I've never actually cracked these guys. And I dislike that they come in tapped a number of times now, so I think they probably need to get changed in the next iteration of this deck. Let's go ahead and keep this. It's a little bit unfortunate because it might be slower than I would like, especially given how much ramp we have in our hand. Yeah, like, I'd really, really like to draw an untapped land here so we can get off to the races quickly. Land? Like, really, I wouldn't mind, like, land and then land so we can play ramp card, ramp card. Ooh, okay, Heart of Kieran, that's dangerous. Ooh, Memorial to Genius. Yeah, Heart of Kieran might get us dead pretty quick. My opponent's going to be able to crew it up here, yeah. And I think we're going to take a not insignificant amount of damage. Your deck also is not particularly good at dealing with things like Heart of Kieran. I, for one, am pretty scared here. And that's even just assuming we do draw like a land next turn too, which we did not. I guess all of these are pretty much the same boat as far as ramp goes. If we play the Branchwalker and hit a land, we could play it. But I guess it's probably the best outcome. But there's no guarantee of that, so we should probably just play one of these guys. I guess Druid of the Cow blocks the best. Yeah, my opponent had a pretty aggressive start. Okay. Sacking the Renegade map, just going to find an island, looks like. So maybe they're not doing anything too crazy, maybe they just have some more artifact synergies and things like Syndicate Trafficker. I think it's a very likely outcome that my opponent, like... I think if I'm my opponent, I offer to trade the Syndicate Trafficker for the Druid of the Cowl and try and play something else to crew Hero Kieran. Just because we missed a land drop, like, that is a great trade for my opponent. Okay. So it might be that they actually don't have too many other creatures. Okay, we're going down to 12 here, though. Come on, land off the top. I think we really do need to hit a land this turn if we're going to have a shot. Okay, Aether Hub's not bad. I guess Drover the Mighty, probably. What's going to be our way out? Problem is Heart of Kieran's just going to kill us in a number of turns. We need to find removal. Maybe Nissa buys us some time at some point. I think we're going to play Drover now. Probably offer to trade it with the Trafficker. I think we just need to maintain our life total. Okay, Essence Scatter's pretty bad. Yeah, I think the combination of the tap lands, missing on a land drop, and just our opponent having a pretty fast start is gonna spell doom for us this time around. We've been very fortunate they haven't had an extra attacker, though. Heart of Kieran, at least, hasn't had any friends to go along with. Are we playing like we need to get lucky? Probably. So we play Branchwalker with the hopes of following it up with another threat. So we find a land off the top for Branchwalker. Okay, we did not. Alright, well, down to 4. And I wonder if this deck could use something like a Crushing Canopy. We are pretty soft to flyers. A lot of times the hope is that we're ramping fast enough that we just go bigger than the flyers quick enough that they have to answer us. But Heart of Kieran's a uniquely cheap flyer. Okay, and I don't think we have anything that answers this yet, fortunately. I guess there's no reason not to play Champion of Wits and hope. Although I can't think of anything in the deck that actually gets us out of it here. And if my opponent has a counter spell, it's more than over anyway, which it looks like they might here. Okay, they do. Alright, well, thoroughly savaged by my opponent that time. I guess every streak's gotta end sometime. But yeah, that was clunky and punished for it. Okay, 3-1, 3-1. We can still go all the way. I have faith. Yeah, I don't know. It's fun having lots and lots of creatures in the deck because we consistently are playing good threats. It's great with like the Beastcrafter or Lifecrafter's Bestiary, things like that. But we don't have tons and tons of interaction, so when we do get behind, sometimes it's too hard to really pull back into it. My opponent went a long way with a not real impressive draw. Like, it wasn't bad, but not absurd. This hand's pretty good. We go first, which means we get the sick, like, Llanowar Elves into Nissa Scry start. Pretty happy with that. We do have one of our few interactive cards, for what that's worth. But assuming the Llanowar Elves doesn't just get, like, burned here, I think we're in a pretty good spot. We get to go to Tatioba not too long after that, and I'm sure we can find some action between the Scry and the extra draws at that point. Okay, single planes is unlikely to answer the Elves. It's pretty good. Let's play ourselves a Nissa.
What secrets are you keeping?
Oh, I don't know. Secrets. Not a very secretive guy. Okay, scrying. I guess we actually don't have a play for sure next turn. So we're probably going to play the Memorial to Genius. I kind of want lands for Tatioba, but I think we might actually be just greedy, given that this is likely to be able to scry again next turn. Does this go into play? I can never remember with her. Put that card onto the battlefield. So that would ramp us a little bit if we put both on top. So we could draw it and then drop it. I think the scry is just going to be better, though. Alright, let's put those on the bottom. Play the Memorial to Genius next turn. Not use our mana real efficiently, but that's okay. Okay, a black-white. And Walking Ballista for 1. Okay. Rest in peace, Llanowar Elves. If not now, then soon. Okay. And let's just keep scrying up.
Perhaps I should try this.
Okay, Adventurous Impulse and Champion of Wits. So, we cannot guarantee the Llanowar Elves is going to be around next turn for anything. I think that having the Champion of Wits as an option is pretty good. Adventurous Impulse is fine too. I guess we could plan on drawing the Adventurous Impulse and then drop the Champion of Wits into play with Nissa. Okay, that doesn't feel so bad. Let's play our Memorial, and I guess go ahead and pass. We may end up cycling the Desert of the Mindful here. It's weird. I sort of like the top of this deck is sort of bugged. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Ooh, Kinjali Sunwing. Okay. It's an interesting one. Not really what I expected. It might mean my opponent's a little bit more aggressive than I'd originally guessed. Opponent wanting in with the Walking Ballista. Yeah, are you willing to trade? They are not. Cool. Yeah, we're gonna cycle away the desert. And I imagine we'll be able to find some things that work off of these. Like, we'll be able to find some more lands or whatever else between Adventurous Impulse and everything else going on. Oh no, that was really bad, wasn't it? Because now we don't get to use Nissa. Oops. I'm gonna have to get used to playing off the top of my deck. I guess let's Adventurous. I guess let's Champion of Woods first. Gonna tap down the elves. Add blue. Champion of Woods. Try and find some lands. The plus side here is we do get to keep making this a really, really big. My opponent's not going to be able to ignore it forever. Take our action. Ooh, interesting. We actually did not find a land there. Bounty of the Lux is good, so is Lifecrafter's Bestiary. I guess we should pitch Vizier probably, and then one of these two. I think I want Tatyova more than the others. So I guess probably Tatyova over the Lifecrafters. Lifecrafters is probably better when we have lots of lands in play. Let's pitch both those. We'll Adventurous Impulse. Yeah, I think I want to do that first. I think we'll find a land. If we don't find a land, then we'll be sad that we didn't use Nissa first. We didn't. Ooh, ouch. We have 4 mana. Guess we'll take Weaver of Currents. Okay, and scry some lands to the top, hopefully. Yeah, missing a land that turn is not great for us.
I foresee how this ends.
Having the activeness in play is pretty good, though. So we could do that now and drop the Channeler into play next turn. Have a land. Actually have a lot of lands off the Bounty and Weaver. I think we'll take the land, but not the ramp card. Alright, that was kind of a long term. Had a lot of interesting decisions even early on in the game here. Okay, so this is very likely to take 3 points of damage here. I think we just want to keep scrying her up and just using her as a good source of card filtering, even though we kind of botched it a couple of times here. Torment of Scarabs. Okay, that's a real problem. This does not get redirected since it's loss of life. Yeah. Ooh, and Walking Ballista not coming in. Okay, that's kind of interesting. I wonder why not. Should we really want defense? Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're just gonna lose life, I think, at this point. It's early on in the game. That is a cost, but not as bad as some of the other options. Okay. So this turn, we can scry 2 again. And again, I think still just hoping to find lands off the top.
I see a frightening future.
Monstrous. Don't want either of those. Onslaught's not bad, but not fantastic. Yeah, I think we're still looking for lands. We'll play that. We'll play Bounty of the Luxa, I think. We get to draw a card next turn off of that. Alternatively, we could just cast Weaver. And, like, Nature's Way to kill off the Ballista. But that would just kill the Llanowar, which isn't great. We could play Tatyova. Nah, I think Bounty's gonna be our best line. And keep these both back still to block the Walking Ballista. The Torment of Scarabs is a long-term, like, clock advantage engine for our opponent. We are slowly assembling our value train over here, though. Concealed Courtyard. And I love the look of some of these art. That is one of the things that really just puts Magic above and beyond, I think, a lot of other card games. Art in these are just absurdly good. They really do spare no expense on that. Okay, Karn, gonna give my opponent some good draw engine as well. Ooh, both of those are kind of bad. I think Sanctum Seeker is less bad. Although those are both nice threats there. And again, I have to imagine the Sunwing is going to come in. Walking Ballista is just going to stay home for defense. Looks like. Probably the reason it stayed home last time was they didn't want to necessarily trade it away. Well, but I was tapped out. Yeah, I still don't know why I didn't attack last time. We take another 3 next turn. Bounty draws. Don't have anything great that's pressuring Karn just yet. We're very likely to find a land drop, which means we can play Tatyova plus land, though. Did indeed. And the next turn we've got some substantial ramp. Ooh, for Territorial Allosaurus, probably. So let's play Tatyova. We could just try and, like, downshoot the Nissa, just blindly. And that will work some amount of the time. Okay, get to draw. Desert's not particularly impressive. Let's go ahead and go to attacks. I'm going to attack the Karn here. Champion of Wits, see if we can't trade this away for the Walking Ballista. And then Territorial Allosaurus will come down, probably just eat like Sanctum Seeker or something here. Okay, opponent is blocking, so probably just shoot the land orals? Actually, I'm not sure what my opponent thinks is best. Champion of Wits is a little bit extra points of damage that will be affecting Karn. Or could be affecting Karn. And, oh, interesting, actually shooting Nissa. Okay. Let's scry 2. And Inbolus's Clutches to steal the Karn seems kind of sweet. And do we want to play the Branch Walker for free with Nissa? Nah, I think we'll keep scrying. Although, actually, the next turn we're probably going to use Territorial Allosaurus. Inbolus's Clutches is still a nice pickup, though. We'll just take that. Especially considering we have the Desert of the Indomitable for our land drop next turn. I can't believe that Land Orals managed to survive in the face of a Walking Ballista. Ooh, Lyra. Yeah, that's going to get eaten. I guess it's a little bit unfortunate they truly fight. I guess maybe we should just steal it. It's definitely an option. Well, I guess I'll give my opponent a swamp. Some choices are easier than others. So if my opponent swings with the Sunwing, and we play Inbolus's Clutches, potentially we actually kill off. Well, I guess can't quite kill our Karn. Get pretty close. Yep. Still gonna take 3, I think. We're gonna play this as an actual land. And then play Inbolus's Clutches for 3. And I guess we can follow up with a Weaver of Currents. I think that sounds okay. Stealing my opponent's Lyra seems pretty powerful. Play a Weaver of Currents. I guess plus Nissa.
The world has shown me the way.
Karn's on top again. So I guess maybe let's draw. I guess either way. We'd rather have Karn. I guess we'd rather have Karn next turn. We actually have an island already. Okay, so let's draw Karn. And use these guys to attack their Karn. Okay, I think we're doing pretty okay here. Their own Lyra turning against them is a pretty big deal. Mind controls are awfully powerful, even in constructed formats. So board wipe would be bad still. Like something like Fumigate would be... Yeah, it actually wouldn't even be that bad for us. We saw the potential to kick Allosaurus next turn. We have a Vizier coming in. Or could be coming in. Maybe we should have Viziered the Lyra actually before instead of using Inbolus's Clutches. That would have saved maybe potentially the more powerful card. Oh wow, Traxxas. Interesting. I guess we'll give them Authority of the Consuls, since they're already making us enter the battlefield tapped with Kinjali already. Ooh, okay, yep, Cataclysmic Geared Hulk. So each player chooses an artifact, creature, enchantment, and a planeswalker from among online creatures they control. Then sacrifices the rest. Okay, this is pretty good. We're just going to lose a lot of creatures more than anything else. They're going to lose the Sunwing, keep the everything else. So we choose an artifact, creature, enchantment, and planeswalker. So we choose Nissa as our planeswalker, Inbolus's Clutches as our enchantment, because I really don't think we can afford to get away with that. Oh, I guess we just let it die, right? And keep Bounty of the Luxa. Actually, maybe that's better. Keep Bounty of the Luxa, then Tatyova, probably. Let everything else die. Oh, because this is an artifact. Okay, so they get to keep Kinjali as well. Okay, but Territorial Allosaurus will come in, kill off the Cataclysmic Gearhulk, and we get to kill Karn with Tatyova next turn. Still not doing too bad. Nissa's done a really good job for us, I think, this game. Maybe still worse than our opponent's Karn, but it did come down earlier too, which is worth considering. Okay, still in the Illusory Life Camp, I think. Our card, high card. Draw another card. Play our island, draw a card. I don't know why this has moved off the screen. You guys will have to apologize for that. So we have now 7 mana. I do think we just want to kill the Gearhulk. Yeah. Well, I guess this can just get chump blocked, right? They could play Karn like down. Nah, I think we're just gonna add the big threat. And that lets us kill off their Karn too, which is nice, right? Yeah. Okay. So we'll kick this, have it come in, kill off their Gearhulk. Yep, they gain life, whatever. Combat. Attack. Finally get rid of their Karn. And scry here.
The answers are within my reach.
Aether Hub and Thrashing Brontodon. Brontodon actually be pretty good to take out the Torment, I think. Do we want both of those? So I guess let's put that on top and then probably draw into the land. With, like, Karn. Yeah. We have some extra land off the bounty next turn. I love this card. Like, it's probably honestly not all that good, but it's just so much fun. Oh, alright, well, rest in peace. Our own Brontodon may be used against us here. So this lets us discard always, or sacrifice non-land permanents. So there will come a time where we may just have to start, like, discarding random stuff. This Torment of Scarabs is consistently getting them some value. They're sort of running out of cards, though, over there, and we still got some stuff going on. We can get Rashmi into play, Karn into play, Nissa's still ticking up. At some point, my opponent could consider just getting it at us. I think they're just still trying to keep Nissa from getting up to ultimates regular. Which isn't that big of a deal, honestly. Being able to burn our opponent for 10 it's a cost, but not that big of a deal either. Okay, playing our Jade Light Ranger. Ooh, Angel of Invention. Okay, that's pretty good. It's a threat we have to worry about. Okay. We losing life at this point or discarding? I guess still losing life. I'm starting to get kind of low, it feels like. This is getting scarier. Okay. So we can play our Karn. Want to keep up Nature's Way to kill off the Angel Invention. We Karn, and then maybe we, plus there. Let my opponent choose what they want to get. Probably just giving us the land. We are. It's not all bad for us. Get to gain a life for Tatyova. Keep it going. And now we have 7 mana available. Guess let's scry to the top with Nissa. And do we want lands? Oh, oops. I scried them to the top on accident. So, regardless, we're going to have some lands next turn. Let's play Rashmi, that into play, and then play Elfheim Druid, probably. Okay. Champion of Wits and Vizier may end up having to get God at some point. I don't really want to use the Territorial Allosaurus offensively. Still have a lot of value that we're accumulating. And we'll be able to kill off the Angel Invention next turn if we leave the Allosaurus alone. This has been a good matchup, very grindy. Still looking for that, Sandwurm Convergence. Ooh, interesting. Just going for the plus on the Angel's a little bit risky. I guess that it means the Jade Light Ranger can get in kind of aggressively here, too. We do still need a way to kill that. So Jade Light Ranger looks like it's attacking Nissa. They're both going after Karn. So if we didn't do it, does this have a counter on it? Actually, not sure it shows us. Last turn it gave us mana, though, so I don't think it will next turn. 8... So we got 9 mana extra, drawing a land off the top. We have 9. We play Vizier, play Nature's Way, kill off the Angel, I guess. And keep everything alive. I think that's okay. That was a good hit for my opponent. That resolves. Still losing life. Alright, still losing life. Draw a land. Draw another land. Use Karn. What did we have in the exile again? Actually, don't remember even. Oops. Oh, Galta. That's right. So we could just drop Galta and try and get that done pretty quick. So I guess let's Scry 2 first.
My next move is clear.
And don't really want lands. We play Vizier. Get to play, or get Nissa, but don't get to play it. What's the card on top of our graveyard now? Just a land still. Cast Nature's Way. Breaking that and that. Play our Evolving Wilds. Draw some more cards. Crack Evolving Wilds. Yes. And go and grab a forest. Draw some more cards. Okay, there's Sandwurm Convergence. That's pretty good. Let's go ahead and... You want to just get Galta? We can't put it right into play, right? No. Oh, we're running out of time, aren't we? Reveal 2 cards.
I'll make use of that later.
And then I guess... Let's take the branch... Well, I guess my opponent gets to choose what they want to give us. Probably give us not the Branch Walker. Oh, man, I've gone to time so much in this match that we just don't have any timeouts available. I think Sandwurm Convergence will let us put this game away, though. And we'll probably start discarding lands from this point on. Fire Vitalist. Alright, and end the turn. I guess there's no reason not to attack, because I'm not going to attack them otherwise. Chump block with the Elfheim Druid here. Keep Karn and or Nissa alive, whichever one my opponent goes for. Man, my opponent's had this Sanctum Seeker in their hand pretty much the whole game. They haven't really had great cards for it, admittedly. Since they seem to be just kind of a white-black, like, good stuff deck, I'm a little bit surprised it's in here. It's good in Vampires, it's just... This doesn't seem to be a Vampires deck. Okay, Avad. Well, I guess it's not all bad with him. Okay. I'm keeping up the offensive. And like I said, I think we're just going to jump block and not be too unhappy about that. Okay. And yes, we are going to start discarding lands at this point. Just in peace. We're drawing a lot of extra cards, so I don't think that's all that bad. Okay. Play Sandwurm Convergence. And hope this is going to be all they wrote. This is a nice first playoff for Ashmi because that's the most expensive card in the deck. Just got us an extra land. That's okay. Let's try 2.
Perhaps I should try this.
Walking Ballista seems pretty good. Although I guess we're gonna take Galta here because I actually don't want my opponent to choose on that. Should have considered that maybe a little bit earlier.
Has come.
Take Galta. Galta costs us 3. Let's draw some more lands. Or I guess probably costs us 5, right? 3, 6, 8, 9. No, I guess it is 3. Wonder why it's not showing the green as part of the mana cost there. We could also just cast Nissa. Maybe Nissa's better. Alright. And we're also not paying too much attention to the top of our deck off Vizier. Having to play so fast. Okay. Do I want to return a permanent? Nah, let's just untap and make something big. Okay. And we can't play Galta, right? There we go. Everyone gets to gain a life. but I think we're looking good at this point. We've got a lot of stuff coming in. My opponent can no longer kill us with flyers. We have 3 planeswalkers. Man, this one match has been longer than like the rest of the series put together. Down to 21 cards left in the deck. But I think we are thoroughly in the lead at this point. Belt's going to get to swing for quite a bit. We've got worms incoming. Walking Ballista is just going to have the potential to be quite large as well. Alright, Hour of Glory, fair enough. Back to exile. You had a nice time there, Galta. I have to imagine my opponent would play the Sanctum Seeker, right? Yeah. And no real good attacks. Or resolve, we're just gonna pitch lands again, I think pretty much here on out. Draw a card. Draw a couple of cards. Utilize Nissa. I guess we don't want to do that quite yet. Alright, do this Nissa. Problem is we have so much like value on the battlefield that it feels like we should utilize it, but... Okay, so play a land, draw that. Monstrous Onslaught could deal 5 right now. Nothing real good for it. Now let's go ahead and put silver stuff on Karn. Opponent's going to give us a choice, probably give us a land. And then we're going to play Walking Ballista, maybe? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you're going to get 6 and just machine gun down those. I don't even know if we need to do that. I think I'd rather play Tender Shrew Druid. Play the Druid. Oh man. I guess that's true, we should have played, Multani first. Slight misplay. Multani. Okay. And turn one of these into a land attacker. Go to combat. Okay, my opponent's had enough. I was gonna say, I think it's pretty much academic at this point. I don't think they're beating 15-15 Multani and everything else. But didn't want to lose any value there to give my opponent any chance to come back into the game. Ooh, yeah, that was a grindy one. Pretty sweet though, pretty sweet for sure. Okay, and got our Dominaria pack and an Arbod. I suppose it's an omen after that last game. Okay, so that was our match 5, I guess. We are 4-1. Yeah, just need another 3 to go all the way. I'm excited. It always feels good to win games off Sandwurm Convergence. It's just like the best ultimate ramp payoff. You just play it and it's like, yeah, you probably can't win anymore. But that's what you get for letting me get to 8 mana, I guess. And since people tend to be a little bit greedier in these singleton things, and it's a little bit hard to make sure that you're going to have like a really efficient start. You throw in a little bit of ramp, you get there sometimes. Feels good to have that faith rewarded. Okay, yeah man, these tap lands are just killing me. Let's keep, but I don't think I've been so punished. And like, again, I just never need to crack them. This deck just has so much value from its random cards anyway. I just don't think you need the cycling lands very often. And the amount of cost we've had from paying these tapped is, like, not insignificant, so... Ooh, Gifted Aetherborn, pretty sweet. Possibly my opponent's on, like, a mono-black deck here. Now, something like Woodland Stream's a little bit different, because it is a dual land. I think it's worth it playing this as the tap thing, given that there's no other real options. But, yeah, like, Desert of the Mind Pool is just not good. At least I don't think so. So opponent's got Death Touch and Lifelink here. That's kind of cool art. I never noticed that he was like doing away with somebody. The Aetherborn really were like the coolest part of... Is this a vampire? Ooh, it is a vampire. Alright. Getting good value from my opponent right off the bat. Yeah, I mean, okay. Can't do too much about it. Could cycle the desert. Nah, I think we just need the land drop, or just want to make sure we have the land drop. Let's go ahead and play our Ritualist. My opponent's still going to keep getting stuff off Marvin Fane here, but we do get to drop Multani next turn. I guess the worst that trades with the Aetherborn. Ugh. I guess this card is pretty good, right? Like, you're almost always getting a tempo advantage out of it. Ordinarily, I'd just be like, oh, I'll just take it a couple turns. But since Marvin Fane continues to make 1/1s, that's not great either. Yeah, opponent looks like they're playing just about every vampire. Which I don't think is a bad way of doing it. It's got sort of the same problem as the Merfolk do, like I mentioned a couple rounds ago. I think you're a little bit light on just general playables, but interesting. Yeah, I would definitely block that. Okay. Not gonna block the Aetherborn, though. Okay, so we missed on land. We have 7 available, so we could play like Life Crafters plus Champion of Wits. Doesn't feel absurd. And we actually don't have a great blocker for the Sky Marcher outside of Multani. I think we just play Multani. Yeah. It's not actually even particularly big now. Will we trade that for the Gift of the Aetherborn? Probably. The problem is my opponent's just still getting crazy value out of Marvin Fane. And if we trade off there, my opponent can still start getting in with the Bloodletter the turn after. All for Unity. Creatures you control get +1/+1. For each Unity counter at the meter end step of a creature or permanent you control left the battlefield. Oh. Alright, alright. All for Unity. We might have to actually steal that. Can't just not take this, right? Yeah, maybe we'll just have to steal it. Because my opponent is definitely going to continue getting counters. That's pretty sweet, actually. Okay, Sandwurm Convergence gives us an out eventually. We're still a couple turns away from playing it, though. And I think, honestly, we just gotta take this. Like, we're just not winning a game. My opponent's got it. No attacks. Yeah, they're just gonna make so many tokens, though. Sandwurm Convergence is gonna have to be our savior if we get there. Marvin Fane, yeah. Marvin Fane, ladies and gentlemen. Sadistic Sky Marcher, revealing Anointed Deacon. Cycling away a land. So yeah, I have to imagine my opponent just kind of gets in with everything. I think we're just gonna block one of the random vampires. Maybe we should have used Nature's Way on Marvin Fane earlier. Yeah, I guess maybe that was probably a better play. On the other hand, Sandwurm Convergence is now online, so that might just be enough to save us. Let's see, that can't attack at all anymore. We'll have 2 blockers, we block there, we take 3 in that case. Yeah, I think it's just gotta be correct to get that going. Yeah, maybe we should have Nature's Way the Marvin Fane a while ago, though. Maybe there was a better time than just using, like, Multani or something. No attacks. And we have 2 worms. And they're even big worms. 6/6. Worms always should be 6/6s in my mind. Can't attack. I think we may be stabilizing. Definitely not for sure. Corner of the Legion. Okay. So you're gonna go and get something. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like the draw 1 for every vampire you control, which would be quite good. Not much we can do about it either. But that still might just not be quite enough. Oh, Vona. Oh, actually, yeah. So we need to save Nature's Way for that, because we can't let them destroy the Sandwurm Convergence. Yeah, Marvin Fane needs to live. Opponent can attack with everything, we'll definitely trade off. Yeah, okay, Vona's a good grab for sure. Glad we have the answer. Vona doesn't have Death Touch, just Lifelink. So we've got 6 mana available. We play Life Crafters plus like Channeler and draw a card, try and find a land drop. Seems okay. My opponent's got 3, 4, 5, 6 blockers. We can block all the big ones still if we do this. And I guess we even got Channeler's Initiate, which we could drop somewhere else. We could put all the counters on like the Ritualist and just have a reasonable sized blocker. Maybe that's not bad. We're definitely going to draw a card. And Jade Light Ranger's fine. I think I'm actually just going to put the counters on the Ritualist. I don't think we need Mana Dork as much as we need the blocker. And no attacks. Opponent's gained a lot of life. Nature's Way will deal with their big answer, though, and they still can't answer Sandwurm Convergence without Vona. I mean, it's definitely possible that they have things like Cast Out and the like, but until they draw, we're doing okay, too. So, okay, we get to Scry. Do we want Bounty? I think this next turn we've got 8, so we're going to play Champion of Wits plus Nature's Way. Let's put it on the bottom. I actually think I want to draw a land, just to make sure we get one. Okay. And that... Oh, I guess that's true. We're not eternalizing Champion of Wits. Duh. Alright. Nature's Way very first. Don't want to mess around with this. Okay. We play Thrashing Brontodon. We don't need to just yet. Jade Light Ranger maybe first in case we want to find some land drops. Tap our Elf. Play the Ranger. Do we want to pay a land, actually? That means we can't play Champion Wits. Maybe that's okay. Alright. Yeah, we did find a land for it. Do we want that? I don't know if we do, actually. Find a land. Go to combat. And probably can start getting in with a worm or so a turn. Beating down my opponent's defenses just a little bit. Okay, opponent jumping with the Sadistic Sky Marcher since it doesn't have a real particularly good attack. And that's it for us at this point. I guess we could have played the Champion of Wits. Maybe we should have. The Authority of the Consuls will continue to give my opponent some extra life, but still have enough blockers here that my opponent doesn't have any particularly good attacks. Yeah, I mean, the Gifted Aetherborn can get in all at once. We'll just trade it away for a worm. Okay, I'm going for it. This looks like kind of a desperation attack to me. Just go like block, and block, and block, block, and block, block. That's blocking everything, right? My opponent gets to gain a lot of life, but other than that, this isn't going particularly good for them. Okay. On the bottom. Yeah, they've got a lot of life once again, but I think we've got the upper hand. Okay, and our opponent agrees with us. Ooh, Sandwurm Convergence. I'm telling you guys, Sandwurm Convergence is where it's at. It's just so hard to answer. They even had an answer in Vona, and we actually were very fortunate to have one of our few removal spells there. Because if we hadn't, I think Vona could have taken over the game at that point. But they didn't. So cool. Happy to pick up another victory. So we need 2 more to go all the way, I think. 2 more. Does that sound right? Yeah. Alright, well thanks for sticking with me this long, if you guys have. And yeah, just jump right in. 2 more matches. 2 more matches. Hopefully just 2 more. Don't want to sully our streak with any more losses. Okay. Playing against Shurka. And let's see if we can't draw yet another good hand. We've had some pretty good luck, despite all the tap lands, which is my fault, I really think. It's never burned me as bad as it has in this series, like in the last one. But, yeah, those tap lands are killer. Yeah, let's keep this hand. Looks good. You know what my opponent's doing, we can either play Rogue Refiner or Weaver of Currents. It's a little bit slow. We don't have any of our early accelerants, but Gearhulk plus Monstrous Onslaught, probably pretty good. Okay, it looks like my opponent is playing mono red. Or at least a red aggressive deck. And this is First Striking with Menace. Probably going to play the Rogue Refiner into this then, next turn. This Weaver of Currents is likely to get shot, and at least with Rogue Refiner we'll have drawn a card. There's a reason why this card was banned. It's just so efficient. Oh, Ragavan. So in a perfect world, my opponent has no follow-up. That doesn't seem particularly likely, but in a perfect world. The fact that my opponent's sitting on their hands means it's more likely to just have lots of follow-ups. Okay, Squee the Immortal. Not particularly stellar, but not bad. Let's go ahead and play Rogue Refiner. Probably play Nissa next turn. Finding a land was pretty good there. And then Nissa will either provide us some good scrying or be a pretty good distraction. She'll immediately go up to 4 loyalty. And that's 4 life, I guess, that we get to save. Okay, Chandra's a good one, though.
I am hot, aren't I?
A lot of the Planeswalker lines are pretty campy, but that one was pretty bad. Ooh, Tianoli's Summoner. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, we'll go ahead and block... Oh, no, she's got Menace, I always forget. We can get rid of Squee. That means my opponent has to play it again, which isn't free. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that, I think. I think we are in trouble a little bit at this point, but maybe not disastrously so. I think that this is just going to be better than Bounty. If it gave us the mana immediately, we might go for Bounty. Yeah, I think let's make some distraction. This can also guarantee we'll hit our land drop next turn, which is nice. Then we can play Verduous, and if Verduous doesn't die, we can Monstrous Onslaught and maybe just really wipe a board.
I foresee how this ends.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure Nissa's not going to make it. That's alright. Put that land on top. My opponent can swing and crack the Summoner. They can just get to do that every turn because we don't have a good answer for it. I guess that is a problem. The Chandra pluses, yeah, they can just make a lot of tokens. Maybe we need to try and stick something in front. The problem is Chandra just kill it, whatever it was, too. I was kind of feeling like Tianoli Summer would be sacrificing, but it actually doesn't, right? Because it feels like it often sacrifices because they usually can't swing in onto an empty board. And since we do have an empty board, they're getting value. Okay, Skyship Stalker. Gains haste. And won't just come at us. I actually can't tell. They might just be swinging at us. Come on, kill Nissa. No, no. Be distracted by the Nissa. Oh dear. So we can't play Monstrous plus Verduous.
Yup, you're going down.
Yeah, they can do 2 damage to us. Yeah, I think we might just get run over a little bit too fast here. This deck is good against a lot of the sort of the dirtily decks out there, but yeah, mono red does get us. Skyship Stalker is just lethal on its own, right? Not really anything we can do here. I guess let's see if we can't play something for free off Nissa. Nope, Galta. Alright. Good game, good game. Well, a pretty fast loss against mono red there, but again, well, we get to win those sweet dirtily games. The more aggressive ones, not always. Well, and now we've got a bit of a fight on our hands to try and get it all the way to 7 here. Because we have to win 2 more, and we've only got 1 loss, or we can't lose any at all, so... Hopefully we can go the distance. 2 more matches, guys. 2 more matches. Alright. 2 more. Gotta go all the way, guys. I don't know if I can deal with the shame of not beating people with 2 more Sandwurm Convergences. Like, that's just why... If we're not doing that, why are we even here? Again, I really cannot complain with, like, the strength of the lands that or strength of the hands we've drawn, and this is a pretty good hand as well. We've got Branchwalker into a Karn, into Nissa, into probably Multani. Seems pretty good. Not quite as good as it would be if we had, like, a ramp card along the way, but we're very, very likely to hit Karn and Nissa, and if we hit Nissa, then we can hit Multani, so sounds pretty good. Opponent is going first. If they've got an aggressive draw, we could be in trouble, but Forest makes that a little bit less likely. Let's go ahead and intercept. Green often ends up being a pretty, like, powerful sort of mid-range color, but a lot of the time it looks sort of like our deck here. I don't think you're as likely to have a crazy beatdown deck. Alright, Battle of the Branchwalkers so far. Okay, so Looks like they're playing green-black, definitely a little bit heavier. Ooh, Jade Light Ranger is a great draw. Definitely a little bit heavier on the removal, and a little bit less potent as far as card draw goes. Tentacle Sanctum will enter tapped unless you control 2 or fewer, which we do, so we're actually going to get to play all of our lands in a pretty nice way too here. Ooh, Winding Constrictor. And this is a good one. One of the best reasons to play green-black, especially if you do have sort of an energy sub-thing going on. Winding Constrictor is just great. So let's play our Sanctum. Droper the Mighty is not bad most of the time, but I think it actually might be a turn too late now. I think we're just going to play the Ranger and, again, just kind of try and curve up. Okay, Jade Light Ranger. Ronus. Do we really want Ronus? We have lands to go all the way. Ronus obviously isn't bad. It's not exceptional, though, too. I think I'd rather find just, like, some more interaction, or even just more lands isn't necessarily bad. So, Jade Light Ranger probably will be able to hold off the Winding Constrictor at least. It's not impossible my opponent would have something to go along with it here. Flint Sleeve Siphoner. That's pretty good. So my opponent just gets 2 energy immediately. Oh wow, and offering a trade? Yeah, I'm through the roof on that. That's fine with me. Flint Sleeve Siphoner is going to get them some good value going forward, but we've got some pretty good cards coming. Let's play our Karn, and we're just going to tick it up here. It'll get knocked down a little bit by the Siphoner, but that's alright. Okay, I imagine we're going to get the Forest here over the Vizier. It's alright with me. Vizier is pretty good. It might be able to get us a little bit more value later on in the game. The fact that the Siphoner is menacing is almost actually as bad as anything else. But I still think trading for the Constrictor is pretty good. Okay, well that's kind of funny.
Nature's true power.
So my opponent will be able to kill off our Karn, but then we'll be able to kill off... Oh, I guess not quite actually their Nissa, will it? Oh yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. Really, really close to getting in.
I will return.
And then they can kill off our Nissa. Ugh, that feels dirty. We can Nissa and just keep our Nissa in reserve, but then my opponent... yeah, this isn't great. My opponent probably will just ultimate. Yeah, I think this is still the best play. I don't really love that, though. Yeah, let's see if Siphoner's been kind of annoying here. Alright. So we'll untap a land. And I guess we're just gonna end the turn here. Yeah. Oh wow, and Fatal Push. Ooh, we might get wrecked pretty bad this game. Okay. So now my opponent can kill our Nissa as well, and then we're pretty far behind. Ooh, man. Their Nissa's just lined up incredibly well against our Planeswalker's draw. I think we had a pretty good hand, but the fact they killed our land too means we can't play Multani. This is pretty brutal. Well, you just got killed by yourself. Ooh, that was cool art. I liked all the Hydra heads. That was pretty sweet. Not too much we can do at this point. I guess I'd rather probably have 2 ramp sources rather than the Wasted Ritualist. We can still use In-Bolus's Clutches to still their Nissa if they don't ultimate, but I'm pretty sure they're just going to ultimate next turn. That's going to be a problem. We're going to take a lot of damage next turn, potentially, too. Yeah. That Fatal Push was pretty brutal. Alright. Yeah, not to be done here. Once the Siphoner's gotten them tons of value, too. Yeah, I think we just kind of got destroyed. I was feeling good when they chose to trade off the Winding Constrictor, but... yeah, this Nissa has been really brutal. Maybe we shouldn't have played it last turn? I don't know. It's dead for sure. If I'm my opponent, I'm pretty sure I just want to ultimate Nissa and make sure we get the value. It's not real likely we can kill their Nissa even with that at that point. And being able to draw a card from here on out is pretty powerful. Oh, but they disagree with me. So let's see. Heart of Kirin. Ugh. So they can... Ooh, they actually... Oh, I guess that's Summoning 6 still. Okay, fine. Yes, no blocks. So we get down to 14. So this turn we could just take Nissa. It's probably our best line. Make a defender. And their Nissa is like really high loyalty here. Heart of Kirin's gonna knock it down. But we can, if it survives, we can probably play Multani next turn. Which does relieve some pressure. So I'm not, like, I don't hate that. We're gonna want to use Hash Up Oasis at some point. I guess maybe, so I guess we should just use our Forest. The paying the 1 life is probably not that likely. Alright. And obviously if they have a way to get rid of Inbolus's Clutches, that's gonna be pretty rough too. But that wasn't bad. Okay, so this turn... What's happening this turn? Okay, cast downing the Forest. Probably just going for Nissa. We will chump block this with the Bristling Hydra just to keep her alive, since she gets us quite a bit of value there. Okay. Battle at the Bridge. Not bad. So... Wanted to keep that on top. They have Scrap Heap Scrounger incoming, too. Yeah, it's still gonna be a tough game. Stealing my opponent's Nissa did buy us a lot of time. It's not impossible to just try and go for the face here. This is a lot of damage. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think I hate that line. Okay. So if we chump block, Nissa still goes down to 1, but I think that's okay. The time we're buying off of that is just pretty good. And the mana from the Drover is good, but not necessarily, like, completely necessary. Okay, we don't have the mana to play Territorial Allosaurus. Let's go ahead and play Multani. And then untap. And then we have 2 blockers. With still some life. I guess we can get rid of that. We still have a lot of sources of all of our colors, although we do want 3 green. Yeah, I'm just going to use the Rivulet. I don't think we're going to need to mill our opponent. And I'm worried that we're going to get burned by having the cost for the lands. So my opponent can kill off Nissa here, but they make a relatively dangerous attack. They battle at the bridge, can blow up the Rivulet. But Multani will block something. Then we have Oasis Ritualist, and the turn after that, probably Territorial Allosaurus, which can maybe help us sneak our way back into the game as well. Glint-Sleeve Siphoner's just been an all-star. They've gotten a lot of value out of it. I do think Battle at the Bridge is fairly likely. Okay. Opponent bringing in Scrap Heap Scrounger. Can still cast Battle at the Bridge with the Improvise. Maybe not even going for that, though. They could swing with just Heart of Kirin and the Glint-Sleeve Siphoner, in which case Nissa is dead, but they lose the heart. Ooh, interesting. They're just coming at us, leading the Glint-Sleeve Siphoner. Hey, this still means we get to kill off quite a bit on our opponent's side. It's a sorcery speed. Definitely want to kill off the Heart of Kirin. I think we want to try and go for the Bristling Hydra. Okay, Nissa dies, but maybe we just get to snap up 2 defenders here? Okay. I mean, that was expensive, but it was expensive for my opponent too. We're gonna have a Ritualist next turn. In a perfect world, we might even get some more. Okay. I'm finishing off Multani. Okay, well... So we can't actually quite replay Multani. We can play the Oasis Ritualist, and then we're... Yes, chump blocking. And we're so close. We've drawn a land for the Territorial Allosaurus we could get in there. Like a non-woodland stream. Oh, it's the tap lands. It's always the tap lands. We have lost just a lot of random lands in this game from removal as well. I think we're just dead, realistically, right? I guess we jump block. See if we can't get something going. But, yeah, I think my opponent, the Glintsley Siphoner, was definitely MVP this game. My opponent just gained a ton of land, or a ton of cards off of that. And the onslaught is still continuing. But yeah, I'm pretty sure my opponent's just gonna go for it here, and I can't really blame him.
Until you have lived as a statue, do not talk to me of good choice.
Okay. I guess we definitely want to give him the dead lands rather than the Walking Ballista. Okay, this has been a pretty good argument for like a black-green energy deck. This deck looks pretty solid. Definitely a little bit more mid-range than us. If we'd gotten some of our big threats like the Allosaurus online, it might have been pretty solid. But as it stands, we just kind of never quite got there. And unfortunately, we're going to 1 here and chump blocking. Not really sure there's a line that gets us out of this. I guess. I could bring Multani back, but I don't think playing Multani is going to win it for us. Yeah, they just have a lot of lethal threats. Okay. Well, I think that will do it, unfortunately. Well, a little bit of a disappointing end to the series, but I think the deck was still pretty solid. Again, not really sure it's like tier 1 or anything like that, but is a lot of fun, and got to scratch that ramp itch, so that feels pretty good. Hopefully the series was fun to watch, and going 5-3 is not a disaster by any capacity. Especially with a free Vizier of the Menagerie in line. Pretty sweet. Majestic Heliopterus. I'm kind of surprised we've maxed out on that card, but looks like we have. Well, I guess let's look at the deck here. Go over it one last time, but hopefully it was fun to watch. I'm not sure, like I said, that blue-green really has a fantastic archetype available to it. Like I said, Merfolk's maybe not quite getting there, and while this deck is sweet, it does have the problems that ramp decks do. A lot of time you end up with a few too many ramp cards or a few too few, and you end up being either a little bit too slow or running out of gas in the late game. Cards like Lifecrafters, Bestiary, and then like Nissa, Steward of Elements, do a pretty good job of that, and Vizier of the Menagerie. Like, there's a lot of cards here that can help us kind of go over the top. And obviously, we get to play Sandwurm Convergence, which is just, I think, just good. Like, the fact that it just completely ends so many games is pretty sweet. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you have any suggestions for more Singleton decks you'd like to see, or just constructed decks, any content, shout out, send me a deck list. I'll definitely look into playing it for you guys. I've got a bunch of wild cards still burning a hole in my pockets, so yeah, let me know. I will see you guys next time.